Welcome back. Today on Diecast Spotlight News, we have a few things we're going to cover. One, the increasing popularity of MotorHelix, fantasy or best wish list models, and of course the hot list. MotorHelix in the last year has come out with a lot of great models. This company has been around, I think, less than 10 years, and they've definitely made a splash in the industry. They've done this because they're producing models that we really want. They recently released quite a few Japanese models that would include the S2000, and there's various colors that are available for that. They've also released a Civic Type R, again in various colors, and they also do tuner versions as well. There is a Spoon MotorHelix Civic. They've also released the 50th anniversary of the GTR, which I did a review a couple of weeks ago, and all these models are very well detailed and the packaging is fantastic. You cannot find any errors with these models. I haven't had one yet that's had any kind of defect on them at all. And so yeah, this company is killing it right now. The most recent introduction would be the Alfa Romeo that was produced by them, and that would be the GTA, and that model again is a splash hit. It's very nicely detailed. I didn't do a review on that particular one because it doesn't really fit into my theme, if I want to even say I have one, and I couldn't find anyone to borrow one from, so that's the only reason why I didn't do a review. But from what I've seen in the pictures, and you can obviously look it up as well, it is a great model. It has tons of detail, and it just goes to show again, MotorHelix is listening to the consumer and making exactly what they want. So if you haven't, definitely check out some of the products from MotorHelix and look at some of my reviews. I've done reviews on probably 3 or 4 of their models, and every one of those reviews basically say that the models is stellar because they are. They know what they're doing. They have made it so when they make their die-cast models, they look great. They don't have weird shut lines. The shape is perfect. And again, this model company is really, really growing. Which brings up AutoArt. And the reason why I'm bringing up AutoArt is because for years, and I would even say it's for now, AutoArt is definitely the #1 die-cast model company out there when it comes to volume and sales. They've been around for a very long time, and they are a master in their craft, but for some reason they have slowed down on the releases dramatically, and I'm not sure why that is. Pretty sure there's some rationale for it, and I'm very sure at some point we'll find out why. But it seems to me, as well as MotorHelix is doing, they are capturing a lot of that audience that AutoArt has. And I say that because AutoArt, because of their slow releases, they are failing to meet up to the expectations of us collectors. They fall behind in bringing out their products, which brings me to the Hyra R. And so that model is going to be released by AutoArt at some point. The first one that they're releasing is going to be in that Benny Bianco color or white. And the funny thing is that LCD also has that model being released, and I can pretty much guarantee you LCD is going to bring that out to market faster than AutoArt. And that's not the first time this has happened. AutoArt also says in the future they're going to bring out that number 20 silver Roadster, which LCD has done almost 3 years ago. And that model, by the way, is a great model. It has tons of detail. Some folks complain about the wheels being pushed in a little bit too far, but I think that's quibbling. The model is great. I did a review on that. Go back on that and you'll see what I mean. That model has a plethora of details. I'm going to touch on that model a little bit later too. But the point being is that AutoArt is losing market share. If you didn't get that, if you got that number 20 and AutoArt eventually brings out their number 20, are you going to actually sell that model? Or are you one of those that are actually waiting for that to come out? I wouldn't, because the LCD version is that good. And I really can't see how AutoArt, when they bring that car out, is going to be that much better than the LCD. And the other thing you have to take in consideration too, it's probably going to cost more. So Again, I don't know what's going on with AutoArt, but they are definitely falling behind. Another example would be the GT3 that I've done several reviews on. You have that GT3 Porsche that Mini Champs has made, and No Rev. And the No Rev is excellent. No, it's probably not to the AutoArt standard, but it's pretty darn close. I have a few of those. I am not going to wait for AutoArt to buy those again. I'm just not, because I'm very happy with the No Rev. And I'm very sure if there's probably thousands of you who've done the same thing. So at some point, I am going to definitely ask some of my retailer friends. I'm going to hit up Pathfinder, for example, and see if he has some insight as to what the heck is going on with AutoArt and their slow releases. Next, I'm going to go over something I've always wanted to do, and that is go over some models that I would really hope or want these model companies to make. Perhaps MotorHelix, for example. And I bring this up because I know all of you probably have some of these fantasy or wish list models. Today I'm going to stick more to a Porsche theme because I'm a huge Porsche fan, but obviously this can go across the board for many of them. So I was just perusing through the internet, and these are a few of the companies that I really would want somebody to make as a model. The first one would be the Singer. The Singer Porsche, and all these are aftermarket or resto mod companies. And the Singer, oh my goodness, if you're familiar with Singers, they're just beautiful. They're re-imaged Porsches. And the amount of detail and work that's put into these cars is just beyond. And yes, of course, these are $1 million cars. And you could just tell just by all the materials that are used for their particular product. But yes, that would be number one. Number two would be Tuthill. And Tuthill is a British company from what I remember. And oh my goodness, same thing. Except for Tuthill focuses much more on not only making their vehicles beautiful, but they're very fast. So there's a lot of horsepower and extremely light. I mean, the materials that they use for their cars, they're much lighter than the standard Porsche. And that is the emphasis on their product. But again, I'm very sure that these cars are definitely close to, if not above, the $1 million mark. The third one is the Gutherworks. And Gutherworks, oh my goodness, these are resto enhanced everyday. It's just, I can't even describe it, but their cars are just absolutely stunning. And again, these are $1 million cars, but it would be so nice if there was a model manufacturer who would actually make these cars. Can you imagine that? And of course, the desire would be that they would be fully opening and get the details right. Would a MotorHelix be up to speed for something like this? Maybe. I actually think the best company to make these would be Almost Real, if they did it as their Almost Real Plus line, because they've proven that they can make some very nice looking Porsches. If you remember the roof, which is not technically a Porsche, but it is a Porsche, that model hit all the marks when it came to the details. And that roof Porsche by Almost Real was just their Almost Real line. It wasn't their Almost Real Plus line. The Almost Real Plus line is where you will find a lot of their Paganis, and those are definitely extremely well detailed. I would say that the Almost Real Plus models are like CMC. In other words, that's how really well detailed they are. So yeah, if Almost Real jumped on any three of these, I'd be first in line to buy them. What do you think? Are there some fantasy cars or models that you would want made by any of these companies? If there are, leave them in the comments.